It's known as the epicentre of the Covid-19 outbreak. After 4 cases of a mystery pneumonia were detected late 2019, the Wuhan wet market shut down. 3 months later, the world shut down. As countries scrambled to contain the virus, China denied COVID delays and missteps, and the global blame game began.
China's secrecy, deceptions and cover-up allowed it to spread all over the world, and China must be held fully accountable.
And unfounded rumours circulating about the nearby Wuhan Institute of Virology.
I can tell you that there is a significant amount of evidence that this came from that laboratory in Wuhan.
It's China's fault.
62 countries backed a joint Australian EU push for an independent inquiry into the outbreak.
We will, of course, continue to support moves to ensure there's a proper independent assessment of what's occurred here.
This pandemic has caused so much damage, so it's in our own interest of every country that we are better prepared the next time.
And after denying repeated requests from the WHO to enter Wuhan and investigate, China finally let down its wall. Now 10 scientists from around the world have finally started work on the ground.
What are your expectations for today?
They are having very productive discussions with Chinese counterparts, visiting different hospitals around Wuhan. They've had a very good visit to the market, seeing firsthand the stalls and walking through.
But more than 12 months since the virus first emerged, how open is China to a free and fair investigation? And has the trail already gone cold?
Infectious disease expert Professor Dominic Dwyer is on the ground in Wuhan, part of the investigation, and he joins us now. Professor, China hasn't made this probe easy by the sounds of it. Have they cooperated with requests?
Well, look, yes, as you said originally, was a little bit difficult with getting into the country. But since we've been here, they have been cooperative. They've allowed us to go wherever we want to go, question whoever we'd like to question. So it's actually been pretty good.
The trip has been a long time in the making, though. That question of the trail going cold, has it, do you think?
Look, I don't think so. I mean, clearly, with any of these sorts of outbreak investigations, it's actually uncommon to find patient zero or virus zero, if you like. So a lot of the information has been collected. It's now a question of analysing it and trying to work out what was really happening in that couple of weeks in December 2019, before things really exploded through the Wuhan market. And I think that's really the tricky part. Sure, there are some things that would have been better done then, but you've got to remember they were in dire straits in January and February last year.
Well, you've been to the lab where the virus is rumoured to have been created from. How likely is that theory that it was created and leaked from that lab?
Look, it's easy to make those sorts of comments, and to be fair, the WHO team is accepting all hypotheses need to be investigated. You know, we're going really with an open mind. But history tells us that most of this stuff in the past comes from animals.
So, Professor, I've been making jokes for nearly a year now about eating bat soup. It came from a bat. Are you saying perhaps my jokes were ill-informed, or was I on the money?
No, look, I think you should be part of the team, clearly, because one of the important paths that everyone's following. You know, we've got a couple of different groups of experts here. We've got some animal people who have particular experience with investigating viruses in bats, so that direct link is yet to be found. And it may indeed take years for that to happen. That's what happened with SARS. It took at least a year before the kind of bat virus became apparent.
We have heard a lot about the bats. We've also heard a lot about the wet markets and the lab. Is there a chance it didn't come from any of those places?
I mean, look, it's difficult to know at this stage. I mean, one of the possibilities, of course, that Wuhan just happened to be unlucky and the virus came in from somewhere else into Wuhan and then exploded through the market. But those sorts of theories and possibilities are kind of what we're working forward on, you know, with the appropriate, you know, Chinese investigators and so on. So, you know, it's a tricky path.
Professor, apart from this whole virus thing that you're investigating, what's it like in Wuhan? Is it worth taking the family over there when the borders open?
Well, it's certainly different. I mean, if you like living in, 50-storey apartment blocks, then Wuhan's your place. Look, we haven't had any time to explore at all. We're actually in a form of light quarantine at the moment. So we are able to mix, but we're only allowed to go in Wuhan to designated pre-arranganged places.
Do you have a wrap party at the end? Do you all get together?
We shall see. But there are endless possibilities from that point of view, I can tell you that.
All right. Well, you've done epidemiology, travel advice and entertainment. So I think that's the lot, Professor. Thank you very much for helping us out.
Thanks for having me.
From expert opinions to in-depth analysis and reporting, the Project YouTube brings you the biggest stories from Australia and around the globe. Hit the subscribe button now for news delivered straight to your feed.